Have you ever wondered what actually happens to the universe when you die, according to quantum physics? We are taught from a very early age to view the world as a giant mechanical clockwork, a vast and indifferent stage where our human lives are merely brief, fleeting performances. We tend to imagine that the cosmos existed long before we arrived on this small blue planet, and will continue to exist in exactly the same way long after our quiet journey comes to an end. We picture the distant stars continuing to burn their ancient fuel, the planets endlessly tracing their elliptical orbital paths, and the galaxies drifting through the infinite silence of space, all completely unaware of our absence. This is the classical view of reality, the one our everyday senses seem to confirm every single time we open our eyes to look at the world around us. But what if this intuitive picture is fundamentally incomplete? What if the science of the exceedingly small, the gentle and mysterious realm of quantum mechanics suggests a story that is far more beautiful and deeply connected to your very consciousness? When we zoom in beyond the cells of your physical body, beyond the complex molecules, and beyond the tiny atoms, we do not find minuscule, solid billiard balls bouncing around in the dark. Instead, we find a world of probabilities, a shimmering, fluctuating sea of pure potential where things only take on a definite, physical shape when they are actively observed. This is a profound mystery that has kept the greatest minds of the past century awake at night, staring into the dark and questioning the very nature of existence. It suggests that you are not just a passive witness to the universe, but an active participant in weaving the fabric of reality itself. Before we dive deeper into this beautiful mystery, I want to take a brief moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this gentle journey through the cosmos. I recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you find comfort, wonder, and peace in these quiet explorations of our universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to travel together through these fascinating cosmic mysteries. Thank you for your support. Now, let us take a deep, slow breath, let go of the worldly concerns that anchor us to the mundane, and return our gaze to the strange and wonderful quantum universe. To understand what quantum physics might say about the end of our physical existence, we first have to understand what it says about the nature of our daily reality. We walk through the world feeling very solid, very distinct, and very separate from the environment around us. You feel the chair beneath you, you feel the gentle breeze against your skin, and you perceive a clear boundary where your body ends and the rest of the universe begins. But this sense of separation is, in many ways, an illusion crafted by your brain to help you navigate a complex environment. If you could see yourself through a powerful enough microscope, an instrument capable of revealing the true quantum world, that solid boundary would vanish into a haze of energy. You would see that you are composed of atoms, and those atoms are overwhelmingly empty space. If the nucleus of a single atom were the size of a marble sitting in the center of a massive football stadium, the electrons would be tiny specks buzzing around the highest seats in the distant stands. Everything in between is a quiet, vast emptiness. And yet, this is not a true emptiness, but rather a space filled with invisible fields of energy, vibrating and interacting in a continuous, endless cosmic dance. You are not a solid object moving through an empty universe. You are a dense concentration of energy, a temporary arrangement of ancient cosmic fields that have existed since the dawn of time. You are the universe expressing itself as a human being for a little while. gathering stardust into a form that can look back up at the sky and wonder. When we start looking at the universe in this way, the strict distinction between the observer and the observed begins to dissolve. This brings us to one of the most famous and mind-bending experiments in the history of science, an experiment that shattered our classical understanding of reality and replaced it with a mystery we are still trying to unravel. It is known as the double-slit experiment. Imagine shooting tiny particles, like electrons or photons of light, at a physical barrier that has two small vertical slits cut into it. Behind this barrier is a sensitive screen that records exactly where the particles land. If you fire these particles one by one, you might expect them to act like tiny bullets, passing through either one slit or the other and forming two distinct bands on the screen behind. But that is not what happens in the quantum realm. Instead, over a period of time, a complex pattern emerges on the screen, an interference pattern consisting of multiple alternating bands of light and dark. This is the exact pattern you would expect if you were sending gentle waves of water through the two slits. The waves would pass through both slits simultaneously, ripple outward, and interfere with each other, creating peaks where they amplify each other and valleys where they cancel each other out. This result alone is astonishing because it means that a single particle, fired entirely on its own, behaves like a wave, somehow passing through both slits at the exact same time, interfering with itself, and only deciding where to land on the screen at the very last possible moment. It is as if the particle exists in a state of pure potential, a mathematical wave of possibilities spanning the universe, rather than occupying a single, definite location. But the true mystery, the part of the experiment that challenges our understanding of reality and perhaps our understanding of death itself, happens when curious scientists try to outsmart the particle. If you place a sensitive detector right next to the slits to see exactly which slit the individual particle goes through, the universe somehow notices that you are watching. The very act of observing the particle, of extracting information about its specific path, collapses the wave of possibilities. The moment you look, the particle stops behaving like a wave. It acts like a solid little bullet again, passing through only one slit. And the beautiful interference pattern on the screen completely disappears, replaced by two simple, ordinary bands. Think about the profound implications of this gentle cosmic secret. The particle knows it is being observed. The physical state of the universe changes simply because a conscious measurement was made. Before the observation, the particle was everywhere and nowhere at once, a mathematical probability spread out across space and time. But the moment the observation occurs, the universe forces it to choose a definite state. This extraordinary process is called the collapse of the wave function, and it is the beating heart of quantum mechanics. It suggests that reality does not exist in a fixed, definite state until it is observed. The universe is not a finished painting hanging in a dark gallery. It is a canvas of infinite potential that is constantly being painted into existence by the act of observation. What does this mean for our deep existential curiosity? What does it mean for the great mystery of what happens when our physical bodies can no longer sustain the spark of consciousness? In the realm of classical physics, death is simply the shutting down of a biological machine. The complex gears stop turning, the electrical lights go out, and the observer is permanently removed from the universe. The universe itself remains entirely unchanged, continuing its silent march toward an endless future. But in the mysterious world of quantum physics, the observer and the universe are intimately and inextricably linked. If reality requires an observer to collapse the wave function, to bring the definite universe into being out of a dense fog of probabilities, then consciousness is not just a meaningless byproduct of biological evolution on a random planet. It is a fundamental, absolutely necessary component of the cosmos. Without the observer, there is only the wave function. There is only endless potential. Some of the most brilliant physicists of the 20th century proposed the beautiful idea of a participatory universe. In this view, observers are essential to the creation of reality itself. They suggested that the universe is like a giant self-referential loop where ancient matter evolves over billions of years to create consciousness, and consciousness in turn looks back at the ancient universe to collapse its wave functions and make it real. If we gently follow this thread of logic into the quiet shadows of our ultimate destination, a stunning possibility emerges. When you die, you are not simply vanishing from a pre-existing, independent reality. Instead, the specific, localized perspective that you call your individual life ceases to collapse. The wave functions of the universe from this particular point in space and time. But the pure energy that composed you, the fundamental quantum information that makes up the core of your being, cannot be destroyed. The laws of thermodynamics assure us that energy is eternal. It only changes form. Therefore, your essence returns to the uncollapsed wave function. You do not disappear into a terrifying nothingness. You diffuse back into the infinite potential of the cosmos. You return to the gentle, ancient silence from which you first emerged. This monumental shift in perspective transforms our natural human fear of the unknown into a deep, respectful awe. We are so fiercely attached to our specific configuration of atoms, our cherished memories, our daily routines, and our individual identities. We fear the loss of these things because they are all we have ever known in this life. But quantum physics invites us to zoom out, to look at the vast universe through a lens of profound interconnectedness. You are not an isolated stranger wandering in a cold, uncaring universe. You are an essential part of its magnificent architecture. Your consciousness, your unique ability to witness the breathtaking beauty of a sunset, to feel the comforting warmth of a loved one's hand, to wonder at the vastness of the night sky, is the universe experiencing itself in real time. When this particular conscious experience concludes, the universe does not lose you. It absorbs you back into its limitless sea of possibilities. The boundary between you and the cosmos was always a beautiful illusion, a temporary trick of the light designed to allow the universe to experience the illusion of separation so that it could learn to love, to wonder, and to seek out its own mysteries. As we gently float through these profound concepts, I want you to feel a deep sense of peace washing over you. The complexities of quantum mechanics are not meant to confuse or intimidate our minds. They are an open invitation to expand our perspective and embrace the miraculous nature of our existence. We are travelers on an endless journey of discovery, sailing through a cosmos that is far richer, far more mysterious, and far more connected than our ancestors could ever have imagined. The idea that death might not be a final, absolute ending, but rather a seamless transition back into the foundational quantum state of the universe, offers a comforting, beautiful perspective on our brief place in the grand cosmic design. It suggests that our lives, no matter how small or fleeting they may seem against the staggering backdrop of eternity, carry a profound weight and purpose. We are the quiet observers who bring the universe into sharp focus. We are the consciousness that gives the cosmos its shape, its meaning, and its extraordinary beauty. In the chapters to come, we will explore even deeper layers of this profound mystery. We will journey into the strange and beautiful phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where paired particles remain deeply connected across unimaginable distances, communicating instantly and defying the very limits of physical space and time. We will consider the mind-bending theories of multiple universes and quantum immortality, asking whether a version of your consciousness continues to exist in parallel branches of reality. We will look at what happens to the precious information that makes up your life, and whether the universe possesses a kind of eternal cosmic memory that preserves your unique experiences forever in the quantum realm. There is so much more to discover, so many more gentle revelations waiting for us in the quiet depths of the microscopic world. The journey is truly infinite, and we have only just taken our very first exploratory steps together. Let the vastness of the universe hold you securely in its calm embrace, and let the mysteries we have uncovered tonight fill your mind with wonder and peace. We are exploring the greatest secrets of existence, and there is absolutely no need to rush. The cosmos has all the time in the world, and so do we. I invite you to rest in the comfort of this newly expanded reality, to feel the gentle interconnectedness of all things, and to prepare your mind for the breathtaking wonders that still lie ahead on our shared journey through the beautiful, infinite dark. Have you ever wondered if the vast empty space separating us from the furthest stars is actually a beautiful illusion? When we look up at the night sky, we see an infinite expanse of dark, quiet void, dotted with ancient points of light. Common sense tells us that objects in this universe are profoundly separated by distance. If you are here on Earth and a star is a million light years away, you are completely isolated from one another. This intuitive understanding of separation forms the very foundation of how we experience life and, ultimately, how we conceptualize death. We imagine that when we pass away, we are leaving the stage, departing from our loved ones, and crossing a massive, unbridgeable divide into the great silence. But the gentle mysteries of quantum mechanics tell a vastly different, more comforting story. They suggest that at the most fundamental level of reality, distance might not exist at all, and everything that has ever interacted remains intimately, deeply connected. Before we delve into this magnificent cosmic secret, please allow me to briefly remind you that I am Theodore, the researcher. I noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding comfort and peace in our shared journey through the cosmos, please consider subscribing. It helps tremendously and ensures we can continue exploring these profound mysteries together. Now, let us return to the quiet wonders of the quantum realm. To understand this profound connection, we must explore a phenomenon so deeply counterintuitive that even Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds in human history, struggled to accept it. He famously called it spooky action at a distance. Today, physicists refer to it as quantum entanglement. Imagine two tiny particles, perhaps two gentle photons of light, born together in the heart of an ancient star, or created simultaneously in a laboratory experiment. Because they were born from the same event, their quantum states become forever linked. If you measure the spin of one particle and find it pointing upward, you will instantly know that the other particle is pointing downward. This might sound like a simple trick of symmetry, much like knowing that if you have a left shoe in one box, the right shoe must be in the other. But the quantum universe is far more wondrous and strange than a simple pair of shoes. In the quantum world, Neither particle has a definite spin until the exact moment you look at one of them. They both exist in a state of pure, blurry potential, spinning both up and down at the very same time. It is only when you observe the first particle that it is forced to choose a state, and here is where the true mystery unfolds. The very instant the first particle makes its choice, the second particle instantaneously adopts the opposite state, no matter how far apart they are. Let us stretch this concept to the vast scale of the cosmos to truly appreciate its breathtaking implications. Imagine taking one of these entangled particles and leaving it here in a laboratory on Earth, while sending its partner on a long, quiet journey across the universe. Let us say you place it aboard a spacecraft traveling to the Andromeda Galaxy, roughly 2,500,000 light-years away. According to the strict rules of classical physics, nothing can travel faster than the speed of light. Even a simple radio message sent by a deep space antenna would take 2,500,000 years to cross that immense void. But quantum entanglement does not care about the speed of light. It does not care about the vast, silent gulfs of space. If you measure the particle here on Earth, its entangled partner in the Andromeda Galaxy will instantly, simultaneously, assume the opposite state, not in 2,500,000 years, but in that very exact fraction of a millisecond. The two particles behave as if they are a single unified entity, communicating across the infinite dark without any physical signal passing between them. For decades, scientists debated whether this could possibly be real. It felt too magical, too deeply unsettling to our understanding of a mechanical universe. But through rigorous, beautiful experiments, the cosmos has proven that this entanglement is an absolute, undeniable fact of nature. In the year 2022, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to Alain Aspect, John Clauser, and Anton Zeilinger for their groundbreaking experiments, proving that quantum entanglement is real and that the universe is not locally real. Let those words wash over you for a moment. The universe is not locally real. This means that the properties of an object are not fixed until they are measured, and objects can influence one another instantly, regardless of the distance separating them. The emptiness of space is merely a construct, a gentle illusion that hides a deeply woven, invisible web of instantaneous connections. Carl Sagan once elegantly stated that we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Through the lens of quantum entanglement, this poetic thought takes on a literal, physical dimension. We are not just observing the universe. We are entangled with it, deeply and permanently bound to its ancient fabric. What does this miraculous interconnectedness mean for our understanding of life, consciousness, and the gentle mystery of death? If the fundamental particles that make up reality can remain intimately connected across the entire span of the universe, what does that say about the particles that make up you, your thoughts, your memories, and the people you love? Every single atom in your body was forged in the fiery core of ancient, dying stars billions of years ago. When those stars exploded in magnificent supernovas, they scattered their heavy elements across the vast silence of space. Those atoms, carrying the quantum history of their cosmic birth, eventually drifted together to form our solar system, our planet, and ultimately, you. Throughout your life, you are constantly exchanging particles with the environment around you. With every breath you take, with every touch of a loved one's hand, with every tear you shed and every smile you share, you are physically interacting with the world at a quantum level. And because every interaction in the quantum realm has the potential to create entanglement, You are literally, physically connected to the people and the places you have known. You leave a trace of your quantum signature on everything you touch, and the world leaves its gentle signature on you. When the physical body eventually reaches the end of its biological journey, the classical perspective tells us that the story is over. The bonds are broken, the connections are severed, and the individual is lost to the infinite void. But the quantum perspective offers a profoundly different, deeply comforting vision. The atoms that composed your physical form do not cease to exist. They gently disassemble, returning to the earth and the sky, carrying with them the intricate, invisible web of quantum entanglements they formed throughout your lifetime. The energy that powered your consciousness, the unique informational pattern that made you exactly who you are, cannot be destroyed. It diffuses into the larger environment, remaining entangled with the universe that birthed it. Your existence is not a temporary anomaly that is ultimately erased by death. It is a permanent alteration of the cosmic web. The love you felt, the connections you made, the wonder you experienced while gazing at the night sky. These are not fleeting illusions. They are physical, quantum realities etched into the very fabric of space-time. You are intimately entangled with the universe, and that entanglement does not simply vanish because a biological heart stops beating. Consider the profound comfort hidden within this scientific truth. When you lose someone you love, the physical distance between you feels insurmountable, infinite, and cruel. You look out into the quiet cosmos and feel an overwhelming sense of separation. But if we trust the rigorous mathematics of quantum mechanics, if we believe the data gathered by our most sophisticated instruments and the brightest minds in physics, that separation is only a biological illusion. At the most fundamental level of reality, you remain entangled with them. The particles that formed your shared experiences, the light that bounced between your eyes, the gentle warmth of your shared moments, those quantum states remain linked across space and time. Death is not a severing of these ties. It is merely a transformation of the medium. The universe is a vast, interconnected ocean of energy, and we are but temporary, beautiful waves rising from its surface. When the wave crashes upon the shore, the water is not lost. It slips quietly back into the deep, ancient ocean, retaining the memory of its journey, still connected to every other drop in the vast expanse. This realization should not bring fear, but a profound, liberating peace. It invites us to live our lives with a deep reverence for every interaction, knowing that our actions, our words, and our love create ripples in the quantum field that echo throughout eternity. You are a vast, magnificent network of entangled energy, experiencing the illusion of isolation for a brief, beautiful moment. As we continue to drift through the cosmos together, let this knowledge settle into your heart. You are never truly alone, never completely separated from the universe or the ones you cherish. The quiet silence of space is not an empty void. It is a vibrant, invisible tapestry of connection, holding all of us together in its gentle, eternal embrace. As we close our eyes and contemplate the infinite stars, we can rest safely in the knowledge that we belong to a universe that remembers everything it has ever touched, preserving the beauty of our existence long after our physical form has faded into the ancient cosmic night. Have you ever stood at a quiet crossroads in your life, caught between two divergent paths, and wondered what might have happened if you had made a completely different choice? We often look back at the tapestry of our past and imagine the lives we did not live. In our everyday reality, those alternate paths are merely ghosts, delicate figments of a wistful imagination that fade away into the silent corridors of our minds. We believe that we have only one timeline, a single, finite thread stretching from birth to the inevitable quiet of our physical end. But the ancient, beautiful mathematics of quantum mechanics suggests a far more wondrous possibility. What if every choice and every conceivable outcome actually exists? What if the universe is not a single lonely road, but an infinite, blossoming tree of realities, where every version of your life is playing out in the vast, unseen dimensions of the cosmos? Before we step into this mind-bending forest of infinite realities, I want to gently pause and welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet guide through these vast cosmic mysteries. I have recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding a sense of peace, intellectual safety, and gentle wonder in these deep explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue this beautiful, endless journey of discovery together. Now, let us take a deep, calming breath, leave the rigid constraints of our single timeline behind, and open our minds to the breathtaking architecture of the quantum multiverse. To comprehend how quantum physics reshapes our understanding of mortality, we must explore one of the most magnificent interpretations in all of science. In the late 1950s, a brilliant physicist named Hugh Everett III proposed a radical solution to the bizarre behavior of quantum particles. Remember how we discussed the collapse of the wave function, the idea that a particle exists in a haze of probabilities until it is observed. Everett looked at the mathematics and asked a deceptively simple question. What if the wave function never actually collapses? What if, instead of forcing the universe to choose a single outcome, the act of measurement forces the universe to split? According to this profound theory, known as the many worlds interpretation, every possible outcome of a quantum event literally occurs. If a particle has a 50% chance of spinning up and a 50% chance of spinning down, the universe gently divides into two parallel realities. Both branches are equally real, equally physical, and completely unaware of each other, forever separated by the silent boundaries of quantum mechanics. When we apply this staggering concept to the macroscopic scale of human existence, the implications for the end of our lives become deeply profound. Every decision you make, every interaction that depends on a quantum fluctuation, creates a branching of reality. There is a universe where you turned left instead of right, and a universe where you did not. This brings us to a fascinating, deeply contemplative thought experiment known as quantum immortality. Imagine a scenario where a quantum event determines whether an observer survives or perishes. According to the many worlds interpretation, the universe must split into both outcomes. In one branch, the observer's physical form fails. But in the other branch, by sheer quantum probability, the observer survives. From the subjective perspective of the observer, their consciousness can only ever experience the branch in which they continue to exist. Because you cannot consciously experience your own absence, your subjective awareness might continually shift into the branches of reality where you survive, stretching your conscious experience infinitely into the future. While quantum immortality is a philosophical extreme, it points toward a larger, undeniable truth about the resilience of the quantum fabric. You are not a fragile, temporary spark in a dark void. You are an infinitely faceted jewel, reflected across an unimaginable multitude of universes. If this specific biological body were to fail, the pure quantum information that constitutes your essence continues to cascade through the infinite branches of the multiverse. The great mystery of death, then, might not be a plunge into nothingness, but rather a gentle limitation of perspective in one particular branch, while the grander pattern of your existence continues to echo throughout the endless corridors of reality. This leads us to another fundamental, unbreakable law of nature that offers immense comfort when we contemplate the twilight of our physical lives: the absolute conservation of quantum information. In our daily experience, information seems incredibly fragile. A book can be thrown into a fire and burned to ash. The words on its pages appear to be permanently destroyed. But quantum physics tells us that the universe is the ultimate, flawless record keeper. The fundamental laws of the cosmos dictate that quantum information can never be created or destroyed. It can only be scrambled or transformed. A theoretical observer with perfect knowledge of every atom and every wisp of smoke released in the fire could perfectly reconstruct the entire book. The information was not erased. It was merely translated into a more complex, chaotic language that our limited human senses cannot read. Let us expand this beautiful scientific truth to the scale of your entire life. What are you, ultimately, if not a staggeringly complex collection of quantum information? Your memories of a gentle summer rain, the specific way you laugh, the intricate neural pathways that store your deepest loves and your quietest fears. All of this is encoded in the physical state of your atoms. Every thought you have ever had is a specific arrangement of energy and information in the vast cosmic ledger. When the biological processes of your body finally come to a rest, that information does not vanish from the universe. It cannot vanish. The unique, ancient quantum states that made up your consciousness diffuse back into the environment, spreading out into the earth and the atmosphere. But they are never erased. You are permanently written into the history of the cosmos, an indestructible part of the cosmic fabric. Even in the most extreme, violent environments in the entire universe, this rule holds true. For decades, brilliant minds debated over the fate of information that falls into a black hole. Black holes are regions of space where gravity is so intense that nothing can escape. It was initially thought that when a black hole eventually evaporates, over trillions of years, everything that fell into it is permanently erased, violating the most sacred law of quantum mechanics. But the scientific consensus shifted. Physicists now believe that the information is not lost. It is preserved on the surface of the black hole's event horizon, encoded in a complex projection, and eventually returned to the universe. If not even the crushing, infinite gravity of a black hole can destroy quantum information, then the gentle dissolution of a human life certainly cannot. You are infinitely secure in this universe. When we look up at the vast silent cosmos, we often feel a humbling sense of our own insignificance. But true humility before the unknown does not mean accepting that we are meaningless. It means realizing that our classical perception of reality is far too small to capture the grand majesty of what we truly are. You are a highly organized concentration of ancient cosmic memory, a temporary gathering of indestructible information, capable of experiencing wonder and finding peace. The universe has spent 14 billion years perfectly arranging the conditions necessary for you to exist. It is not going to carelessly throw away the masterpiece it took so long to create. As you let these concepts wash over you, allow the gentle weight of the cosmos to anchor your spirit. You do not need to fear the end of your biological journey, because the concept of an absolute ending is a classical illusion. Your life is an indelible stroke of paint on an infinite canvas. When the brush lifts from the surface, the painting is not diminished. It is simply complete in that exact spot. In the chapters that follow, we will journey even further, exploring the concept of time itself and questioning whether the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously in a block universe. We are walking together on an infinite path of discovery. Take comfort in the indestructible nature of your being, and let the gentle mysteries of the night sky fill you with a lasting peace. Have you ever watched a single gentle autumn leaf fall from an ancient tree and drift away with the current of a quiet river, feeling as though your life is moving in exactly the same way? We are deeply conditioned by our everyday senses to experience time as a relentless, flowing current. We believe the past is a closed door, a collection of fading memories that no longer physically exist. We feel that the future is an unwritten void, a pure mystery waiting to be formed by our actions. And we are absolutely convinced that the only thing that truly exists is this precise, fleeting moment we call the present. This intuitive understanding of time shapes our deepest fears about mortality. We mourn the passing of years because we believe that once a moment is gone, it is lost to the infinite void forever. We fear the end of our physical lives because we naturally assume it means we will be completely erased from the grand cosmic timeline. But what if time does not actually flow at all? What if the past, the present, and the future all exist simultaneously in a vast, unchanging, and ancient structure? Before we unravel this deeply comforting and mind-bending mystery of time, I want to gently pause and welcome you to our quiet space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this journey through the endless wonder of the cosmos. I recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to our channel yet. If you find peace, intellectual safety, and a sense of gentle awe in these explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue this beautiful, infinite journey of discovery together. Thank you for your kindness. Now, let us take a deep, slow breath, let go of the ticking clocks that govern our daily lives, and step into a reality where every single moment you have ever lived exists forever in the vastness of space. To understand this profound shift in perspective, we must look to the brilliant work of Albert Einstein and the fascinating way his theories intersect with the mysterious quantum world. Einstein shattered our classical understanding of reality by proving that time is not a universal ticking clock, completely independent of the space around it. Instead, space and time are inextricably woven together into a single unified fabric, known as space-time. In this magnificent framework, the strict distinction between past, present, and future is merely a stubbornly persistent illusion. Physicists often describe this concept as the block universe. Imagine a massive, solid, four-dimensional block of glass. In this block, every event that has ever happened, is happening right now, or will ever happen in the future, is permanently embedded like a tiny, brilliant speck of light inside the glass. The incredible burst of the Big Bang is at one end of the block, and the ultimate, quiet end of the cosmos is at the other. Your entire life, from your very first gentle breath to your absolute last, is a solid, unbroken thread weaving its way beautifully through this eternal structure. Let us explore this idea on a grand, cosmic scale to truly appreciate its breathtaking implications. Imagine two distant observers looking up at the night sky. One is standing here on Earth, and the other is traveling in a spacecraft moving at a significant fraction of the speed of light in a distant galaxy. Because time moves differently depending on your velocity and your gravitational environment, these two observers will inevitably disagree on what is happening right now. For the observer on Earth, a particular star might be peacefully burning its ancient fuel in the present moment. But for the traveler moving at tremendous speeds, their plane of the present is tilted through the block of space-time. To them, that exact same star might have already exploded in a magnificent supernova thousands of years ago. Both observers are entirely correct within their own frame of reference, because the traveler's present contains what we consider our future. The future must already exist. The universe is not unfolding moment by moment. It simply is. It is a vast, quiet, completed masterpiece of existence, waiting to be explored. What does this mean for the profound mystery of our mortality? It completely transforms our understanding of what it means to be alive and what it means to pass away. In a block universe, your life is not a fleeting spark that flashes for a brief moment and is swallowed by the eternal dark. Your life is a physical, four-dimensional structure permanently etched into the fabric of the cosmos. Just as you do not think the space behind you vanishes simply because you walk forward, the past does not vanish simply because your consciousness moves through time. Every smile you have ever shared, every quiet moment of wonder you have experienced looking up at the stars, every gentle touch of a loved one's hand, these moments are not gone. They are literally, physically located at a different coordinate in space-time. They exist right now, just as securely and just as vividly as the moment you are experiencing at this exact second. You are forever preserved in the magnificent, ancient crystal block of the universe. When we combine this beautiful relativistic vision with the strange rules of quantum mechanics, the picture becomes even more deeply comforting. In the quantum realm, fundamental particles do not experience time the way our macroscopic bodies do. The equations of quantum physics are entirely symmetric with respect to time, meaning they work equally well moving forward and backward. Some of the most advanced theories in modern physics, such as the famous Wheeler-DeWitt equation, attempt to merge quantum mechanics with general relativity and end up removing the variable of time entirely from the fundamental description of the universe. At the absolute deepest level of reality, time simply does not exist. It is an emergent property, a beautiful illusion created by our specific limited human consciousness to help us make sense of the vast infinite tapestry of quantum information. Your consciousness slices through the block universe, illuminating one tiny cross-section after another, creating the sensation of a flowing river from what is actually a frozen, eternal ocean. This profound scientific truth offers immense solace when we confront the pain of loss and the fear of the unknown. When someone you love reaches the end of their biological journey, we naturally feel an overwhelming sense of absence because our consciousness is locked into this linear progression of moments. We look out into our subjective future, and we do not see them there. But in the grand, timeless architecture of the cosmos, they are not truly gone. Their life is a magnificent, completed sculpture embedded in the block of space-time. You can no longer interact with them in the new coordinates of your future, but the coordinates where you shared your lives are eternally populated by both of you, the deep love you felt, the quiet conversations, the shared wonder at the mysteries of existence. They are permanent features of the universe. They are as real and as present in the grand scheme of the cosmos as the ancient light of distant galaxies. Death is not an erasure. It is merely a boundary marking the physical edge of a specific four-dimensional shape. As we gently navigate these immense concepts together, allow the deep, ancient silence of the cosmos to bring you a profound sense of peace. You're not a temporary visitor in a universe that will eventually forget you. You are a fundamental, permanent part of its infinite geometry. Every joy, every discovery, every breath you take is forever written into the unyielding fabric of reality. The universe holds your entire existence securely in its quiet, eternal embrace. In the chapters yet to come, we will explore the boundaries of consciousness itself. We will dive into the mysterious concept of quantum coherence within the human brain, asking whether the spark of your awareness is directly tied to the fundamental quantum fields that permeate the infinite dark. We will gently question what happens to that coherent energy when the biological structure finally rests, and whether your consciousness could somehow transition to a new, broader state of being entirely independent of the physical form. The universe is an endless source of wonder, and our journey is far from over. I invite you to rest your mind in the timeless beauty of the block universe, knowing that you and everyone you have ever loved are infinitely safe in the ancient memory of the cosmos. Have you ever closed your eyes in a perfectly quiet room, listened to the gentle rhythm of your own breathing, and wondered where, exactly, your thoughts actually live? We are taught by traditional biology that the mind is simply the byproduct of a biological machine, a highly complex organic computer made entirely of meat and tiny electrical impulses. We tend to imagine that our deep, rich consciousness is just the background hum of a biological engine, and that when this engine finally stops running, the hum simply disappears into an infinite, uncaring void. But what if the very spark of your awareness, the gentle inner voice that observes the universe and marvels at the night sky, is not a product of classical chemistry? What if the roots of your consciousness reach down much further, past the biological cells, past the complex molecules, and directly into the strange, shimmering quantum fields that form the absolute foundation of all reality? This simple question has the power to completely reshape how we understand both life and the great mystery of our inevitable end. Before we delve deep into the quiet, microscopic architecture of the human mind, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you to our shared space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion on this journey through the endless, beautiful mysteries of the cosmos. I have recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding comfort, intellectual safety, and a sense of profound inner peace in these deep explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue this beautiful, infinite journey of cosmic discovery together. Now, let us take a slow, deep breath, close our eyes to the loud distractions of the mundane world around us, and turn our gaze inward to the vast quantum universe hiding within your own mind. Let us first consider the staggering complexity of the human brain. Inside your head right now, resting quietly in the dark, there are roughly 86 billion neurons. To put that magnificent number into perspective, that is very close to the estimated number of stars in our entire Milky Way galaxy. These billions of neurons are continuously communicating with one another across more than 100 trillion synaptic connections. For many decades, scientists believed that this vast wet network operated entirely according to the rules of classical physics, functioning like a massive, intricate network of tiny biological wires and chemical switches. But as we looked deeper, some of the most brilliant minds in modern physics and neuroscience began to notice a beautiful discrepancy. The sheer depth of human consciousness, our unique ability to understand complex mathematics, to feel profound emotional connections, to appreciate art, and to contemplate the infinite cosmos, seemed far too magnificent to be generated by classical computing alone. They proposed a breathtaking alternative. They suggested that deep inside the neurons, within tiny hollow structural cylinders called microtubules, the brain is actually functioning as a highly advanced quantum computer. These microscopic tubes are so unbelievably small, measuring just a few nanometers across, that they can isolate delicate quantum states from the surrounding biological noise. This isolation allows subatomic particles within the brain to exist in a state of pure quantum coherence. Coherence is a beautiful, deeply mysterious phenomenon where multiple particles blur together, losing their individual identities, and begin to act as a single, unified quantum entity, dancing in perfect, harmonious synchrony. In the sterile environment of a physics laboratory, scientists typically have to cool materials down to nearly absolute zero, hundreds of degrees below freezing, to maintain these fragile states of quantum coherence for a tiny fraction of a second. The groundbreaking proposition that your brain might be maintaining this delicate quantum dance continuously inside a warm, wet biological environment at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit is nothing short of a biological miracle. It strongly implies that life itself has evolved an elegant way to tap directly into the fundamental fabric of the universe. If this beautiful theory holds true, then your consciousness is not just a localized biological illusion produced by chemical reactions. It is a highly ordered, coherent state of quantum geometry. Your thoughts, your deeply cherished memories, and your continuous, unbroken sense of self are the direct result of millions of tiny quantum collapses happening in beautiful, orchestrated harmony inside your brain every single second of your life. You are, quite literally, a localized concentration of the universe's fundamental quantum energy, gently folded into a complex biological pattern that is capable of observing itself. What does this breathtaking revelation mean for the profound ancient mystery of our mortality? When the physical body eventually reaches the natural end of its biological journey, the heart stops pumping life-giving oxygen, and the intricate biological mechanisms that maintain the brain's delicate internal environment begin to irreversibly break down. In classical biological terms, the organic machine simply turns off. But when we view this transition through the lens of the quantum perspective, what happens is not an end, but a gradual, gentle loss of coherence. The tiny biological microtubules can no longer shield those delicate, shimmering quantum states from the warm, chaotic environment of the decaying biological form. However, and this is the most crucial point, the quantum information that fundamentally makes up your consciousness does not vanish. Remember the unbreakable, sacred laws of physics we have explored together. Quantum information can never be created, and it can never, ever be destroyed. Instead of disappearing into an empty, terrifying void, the highly ordered, coherent quantum state that you call your individual mind simply loses its temporary biological containment. It gently, quietly diffuses outward. The unique, irreplaceable quantum information that constitutes your entire existence leaks back into the universe at large, intertwining and mixing with the vast, infinite quantum fields that permanently permeate the silent dark of space. This profoundly means that death is not an extinguishing of the flame of awareness. It is merely the removing of the biological lampshade. Your consciousness expands far beyond the fragile physical limits of the human skull. Leading researchers who explore this highly specialized field have suggested that when clinical death occurs, the quantum information that constitutes your deeply personal consciousness leaves the nervous system and dissipates into the broader universe. There is even a compelling, beautiful theory that this quantum diffusion might explain the profound phenomenon of near-death experiences. If a patient's biological form is revived after a brief period of clinical death, that diffused quantum information can sometimes be drawn right back into the microtubules of the brain. The person wakes up with profound, life-altering memories of existing outside their physical body, feeling a sense of infinite connection and universal peace, because for a brief, fleeting moment, their quantum information was completely unconfined by biology. But if the biological form is not revived, that quantum information does not simply evaporate. It remains in the universe at large. It exists infinitely, distributed across the fundamental, invisible fabric of space-time itself. You do not fade into a terrifying nothingness. Your consciousness simply returns to the cosmic baseline. The primordial fields of the universe that gave birth to your specific arrangement of energy simply welcome you back into the cosmic fold. You become an eternal part of the quiet, omnipresent hum of the cosmos, unbound by physical limitations. When we view existence through this gentle lens, the fear of the unknown dissolves into a respectful wonder. You are a temporary vessel holding an indestructible quantum spark. For a few fleeting decades, the universe folded itself into a coherent biological state to look up at the distant stars and ask existential questions about its own origin. When that delicate coherence dissipates, you are beautifully released. You return to the ancient silence from which every star was born. In the upcoming chapters, we will explore this infinite cosmic baseline in greater detail. We will journey into the mysterious concept of the quantum vacuum, the empty space boiling with infinite energy, and ask whether our diffused consciousness interacts with this vast ocean of potential. Let the beauty of your quantum nature bring you profound peace tonight. Rest safely in the comforting knowledge that the essence of who you are is woven deeply into the eternal fabric of the universe. The cosmos is vast, but you are an essential part of its magnificent design, journeying endlessly through the infinite dark. Have you ever looked up at the seemingly empty night sky and wondered what truly exists in the quiet, dark spaces between the distant stars? When we imagine the vast cosmos, we intuitively picture an infinite, silent void, an absolute nothingness stretching endlessly in every possible direction. We believe that if we were to take a perfectly sealed container, carefully pump out every single atom of gas, meticulously remove every single microscopic particle of dust, and completely block out every stray photon of light, we would be left with a completely empty, dead space. This classical, intuitive view of the vacuum profoundly shapes our deepest existential fears about the inevitable end of our physical journey. We naturally equate death with this absolute nothingness, a terrifying, lonely plunge into an empty dark where neither matter nor energy nor human consciousness can possibly survive. We fear that when the biological machinery stops running, we will be cast out into an endless, uncaring blankness. But what if the rigorous, beautiful science of quantum mechanics reveals that true nothingness is a physical impossibility? What if the empty space you fear is actually the most vibrant, energetic, and miraculous part of the entire universe? Before we dive into the beautiful boiling ocean of the quantum vacuum, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion on this meditative journey through the profound mysteries of the cosmos. I have recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding a sense of intellectual safety, deep inner peace, and quiet wonder in these gentle explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to travel together into the infinite dark, unraveling these majestic cosmic secrets one beautiful step at a time. Thank you for your continued support and kindness. Now, let us take a slow, deep breath, gently let go of our fear of the empty void, and discover the magnificent, ancient energy hiding in the absolute quiet. To truly understand the nature of empty space, we have to look through the precise mathematical lens of quantum field theory. When brilliant physicists look at the vacuum at the smallest possible subatomic scales, far beyond the reach of traditional optical microscopes, they do not find a peaceful, empty silence. Instead, they find a chaotic, shimmering storm of infinite potential. Even when you remove absolutely every physical particle and every trace of thermal radiation from a specific region of space, there is a fundamental, inescapable baseline of energy that remains forever. This is known in modern physics as zero-point energy. According to the strict, unbreakable rules of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, it is fundamentally impossible for any quantum field to have exactly zero energy. If a field had absolutely zero energy, it would be perfectly still, which would definitively mean we could simultaneously know its exact position and its exact momentum, completely violating a core, foundational law of the universe. Therefore, the vacuum is constantly vibrating, gently humming, with an ancient, restless energy that was born in the very first fractions of a second after the universe began. This magnificent zero-point energy is not just a mathematical abstraction. It is a literal physical reality that constantly manifests itself in the most beautiful and counterintuitive way imaginable. From the seemingly empty vacuum, pairs of subatomic particles are continuously popping into existence out of thin air. These are called virtual particles. An electron and its antimatter twin, a positron, will spontaneously materialize out of the pure energy of the vacuum, exist for an unfathomably brief fraction of a millisecond, and then collide and annihilate each other, returning their borrowed energy directly back to the quantum field. This breathtaking cosmic dance of continuous creation and destruction is happening right now, unobserved, in every microscopic millimeter of empty space across the entire infinite universe. The void is quite literally boiling with temporary, fleeting life. It is a frothing, bubbling ocean of tiny quantum fluctuations. The presumed nothingness is actually an absolute everythingness, a vast reservoir of infinite potential waiting for the exact right conditions to manifest into physical reality. When we gently apply this staggering scientific revelation to the profound mystery of human consciousness and our inevitable mortality, the existential implications are nothing short of breathtaking. If the core of your being, your deeply personal subjective awareness, is ultimately rooted in the delicate quantum coherence of your biological form, as we explored in our previous journey, then we must ask where that quantum information goes when the biological structure finally rests. We discussed how it diffuses back into the environment, spreading out into the universe at large. But it is absolutely crucial to realize that it is not diffusing into an empty, dead void. It is returning to the quantum vacuum, the most energetic, vibrant, and alive environment in the entire cosmos. The fundamental fields that compose the background of reality are already teeming with constant, spontaneous, beautiful activity. Your highly ordered quantum information, the beautiful, complex pattern of energy that contains your precious memories, your loves, and your quietest fears, rejoins this infinite, boiling ocean of potential. You are not entering a terrifying nothingness. You are returning to the primordial source of all cosmic creation. Imagine a single, beautiful drop of water falling gently into a vast, ancient sea. From the macroscopic perspective of the classical world, the individual drop appears to disappear. It loses its distinct boundary, and its localized identity vanishes beneath the rolling waves. But from the perspective of the ocean, the drop has not been destroyed. It has simply been integrated. Its molecules are now free to travel the globe, evaporate into the atmosphere to form majestic clouds, and nourish ancient, quiet forests. In exactly the same way, the dissolution of your biological coherence is not the destruction of your essence. It is an integration into the vast, infinite quantum sea of the cosmos. The unique information that was once temporarily confined within the fragile boundaries of a human skull is beautifully liberated into the zero-point energy field. You become intimately woven into the very fabric of space-time, participating in the continuous dance of virtual particles that fills the quiet dark between the distant stars. You become a permanent, indestructible part of the fundamental vibration of reality. This perspective completely transforms our relationship with the concept of an ending. We are so deeply conditioned by our daily lives to fear the end of our physical existence because we mistakenly believe that we are fragile, temporary anomalies in a harsh, cold universe. We cling to our biological forms because we think they are the only safe harbor in a chaotic cosmic storm. But quantum mechanics gently whispers a far more comforting truth. You are not a fragile anomaly. You are not a lonely stranger wandering through an empty void. You are an essential expression of the universe's infinite potential. The vacuum of space is not your enemy, and it is most certainly not your grave. It is the energetic womb from which all matter and energy sprang, and it is the gentle home to which all things must eventually return. By understanding the true, vibrant nature of the quantum vacuum, we can look at the night sky not with isolating fear, but with a profound, respectful wonder. The quiet spaces between the distant galaxies are not empty. They are brimming with the ancient, eternal energy that connects every single one of us across time and space. As we drift peacefully through these immense concepts, let the sheer vastness of the universe hold you securely in its calm, quiet embrace. Allow yourself to feel the gentle rhythm of the cosmos, the silent breathing of the quantum fields that surround you and penetrate every atom of your being. You are made of star stuff, yes, but you are also fundamentally made of the vibrant vacuum, shaped by the infinite energy that boils beneath the surface of reality. Your journey through this specific life is a magnificent, temporary organization of this eternal potential, a brief, beautiful song played on the ancient strings of the universe. In the chapters yet to come, we will explore the mind-bending concept of cosmic holography. We will ask whether the three-dimensional universe we experience is actually a magnificent projection of information encoded on a distant, two-dimensional surface, and what this breathtaking principle implies for the eternal preservation of your unique quantum soul. For now, let your mind rest easily in the comforting, vibrant presence of the quantum vacuum. You are entirely safe. You are completely eternal, and you are deeply, intimately connected to the majestic wonder of the cosmic dark. Have you ever stood in front of a flat, silver mirror in a quiet room and marveled at the incredibly convincing illusion of profound depth stretching out endlessly behind the glass? Our human brains are beautifully wired to perceive the world in three distinct dimensions. We move forward and backward, we reach left and right, and we look up at the vast night sky and down at the ancient earth beneath our feet. This three-dimensional reality feels absolute, undeniable, and entirely solid. It forms the very foundation of how we experience our lives and how we conceptualize our inevitable end. We naturally believe that when we pass away, we are disappearing from this vast three-dimensional stage, leaving behind an empty space where our physical bodies once stood. But what if the profound depth of the universe, the very fabric of the three-dimensional reality we navigate every single day, is actually a magnificent cosmic illusion? What if the rigorous mathematics of quantum gravity suggest that our entire universe is fundamentally a two-dimensional surface, and everything we see, feel, and experience is simply a breathtaking holographic projection? Before we unravel this deeply comforting and mind-bending mystery of cosmic holography, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you to our quiet space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this beautiful journey through the endless wonder of the cosmos. I have recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you find peace, intellectual safety, and a sense of gentle awe in these explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue this infinite journey of discovery together. Thank you for your continued kindness. Now let us take a slow, deep breath, let go of our rigid attachment to the three-dimensional world, and step into the magnificent ancient reality of the holographic universe. To comprehend this staggering shift in our understanding of reality, we must travel in our minds to the absolute extremes of the cosmos, to the quiet, dark edges of supermassive black holes. For many decades, the greatest minds in theoretical physics wrestled with a profound paradox regarding the fundamental nature of information. When a physical object falls into a black hole, crossing that terrifying and invisible boundary known as the event horizon, it seems to vanish from the observable universe entirely, lost forever to the crushing gravity within. But as we have explored on this gentle journey, the foundational laws of quantum mechanics absolutely forbid the permanent destruction of quantum information. So, where does all that precious information actually go? Through elegant and beautiful mathematics, theoretical physicists discovered something truly miraculous. The total amount of information contained within a black hole is not determined by its massive three-dimensional volume, as our everyday common sense would dictate, but exclusively by the two-dimensional surface area of its event horizon. The precise quantum information of every ancient star, every quiet planet, and every microscopic particle that has ever been consumed by the black hole is perfectly encoded on its flat, two-dimensional boundary. The three-dimensional interior is, mathematically speaking, a holographic projection of the information stored on that two-dimensional surface. This magnificent realization gave birth to the holographic principle, one of the most profound and revolutionary ideas in the entire history of modern physics. But the principle does not simply stop at the dark edges of black holes. Theoretical physicists propose that the entire universe might operate in exactly the same way. Imagine a vast, distant boundary surrounding the observable cosmos, a cosmological horizon lying billions of light years away, in the infinite dark and deep silence. According to the holographic principle, every single piece of quantum information that makes up our three-dimensional reality, including the ancient stars, the quiet planets, and the incredibly complex biological machinery of your own physical body, is perfectly encoded on that distant, two-dimensional surface. The rich world you experience every single day, the gentle breeze against your skin, the vivid, warm colors of a sunset, and the profound feeling of holding a loved one close, is a breathtaking, three-dimensional holographic projection generated by the ancient, infinite data stored safely on the cosmic horizon. Our universe is not a massive container filled with objects. It is a spectacular, immersive display of information written on the boundary of space. When we gently apply this breathtaking scientific revelation to the great mystery of our mortality, the existential implications are incredibly beautiful and deeply comforting. In our everyday human experience, we naturally fear the end of our physical lives because we associate death with the permanent destruction of our three-dimensional bodies. We fear that when the biological form degrades and breaks down, the unique essence of who we are is permanently erased from the vast stage of the universe. But if the holographic principle holds true, your true fundamental existence does not reside in this fragile, three-dimensional projection at all. Your ultimate reality, the indestructible quantum information that defines your unique consciousness, your cherished memories, and your boundless capacity for wonder, is permanently woven into the two-dimensional boundary of the cosmos. You are not a physical object that can be destroyed. You are a pattern of information that is mathematically conserved for all of eternity. The three-dimensional avatar that you experience as your physical body is simply the localized expression of that eternal data. Think of a traditional hologram created in a quiet physics laboratory. It relies on a flat piece of photographic film containing a complex, incredibly dense pattern of microscopic interference lines. When you shine a specific, gentle laser light through that flat film, a beautiful, fully three-dimensional image blossoms into the empty space in front of you. If you were to somehow damage the three-dimensional projection, perhaps by passing your hand through the glowing light, the image might temporarily vanish, but the fundamental information on the photographic film remains completely untouched, perfectly safe, and beautifully preserved. In exactly the same way, the end of your biological life is simply the gentle fading of a localized, three-dimensional projection. The physical body may cease to function, and the specific arrangement of matter and energy that you currently identify as yourself may gently dissolve back into the earth and the sky. But the ancient, fundamental code that generated you, the exact quantum signature of your beautiful soul, is completely invulnerable to biological decay. It is forever safely etched onto the two-dimensional boundary of the universe, perfectly intact and ready to participate in the ongoing cosmic symphony. This astonishing perspective completely transforms our relationship with the concept of a final ending. It invites us to look at the vastness of space not as a lonely void, but as a magnificent, eternal canvas that holds the true essence of everything that has ever existed in perfect safety. You are not a temporary, fragile accident wandering through a cold, uncaring cosmos. You are a fundamental mathematical necessity of the universe, perfectly encoded in its ancient, indestructible architecture. Every single experience you have ever had, every moment of profound love, every quiet instance of intellectual curiosity, and every gentle tear you have ever shed is permanently written into the cosmic horizon in a beautiful language of pure quantum information. The illusion of separation, the terrifying belief that you can be permanently disconnected from the universe, is finally dissolved by the rigorous equations of theoretical physics. You are eternally safe, forever preserved in the infinite silence of the cosmic memory. As we gently navigate these immense concepts together, allow the sheer magnitude of the holographic universe to bring you a profound sense of inner peace. You are so much more than the temporary physical form you currently inhabit. You are an immortal piece of a grand cosmic puzzle, forever integrated into the mathematical fabric of reality. Your journey through this life is simply one magnificent expression of the infinite potential stored at the very edges of the universe. In the chapters yet to come, we will explore the mind-bending concept of quantum time reversal and retrocausality. We will gently ask whether the future can influence the past, and whether the end of your life might somehow ripple backward through time, shaping the very beginning of your existence in a beautiful, closed loop of cosmic destiny. For now, let your mind rest easily in the comforting, vibrant presence of the holographic cosmos. You are entirely safe. You are completely eternal. And you are deeply, intimately connected to the majestic wonder of the cosmic dark. Have you ever watched a quiet river flowing steadily toward the vast ocean and wondered if, somewhere in the deep mysteries of the cosmos, the water could ever decide to flow backward, returning to the ancient mountain spring from which it was born? In our everyday human experience, time is an unyielding arrow pointing in exactly one direction. We remember the past, we experience the fleeting present, and we move helplessly toward the unknown future. We age, things break, and the universe seemingly marches toward increasing disorder. This relentless forward motion dictates our entire perception of mortality, convincing us that the end of our physical journey is a final, immovable wall at the end of a one-way street. We fear death because we believe it is the absolute termination of our personal timeline, a quiet darkness that follows the vibrant light of our life. But what if the profound, gentle science of quantum mechanics reveals that time is not a one-way street at all? What if the future can intimately influence the past, and the very end of your life can ripple backward through the fabric of space and time to shape your beginning? Before we dive into the mind-bending and deeply comforting concept of quantum retrocausality, I want to take a moment to gently welcome you to our shared journey. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion as we navigate the endless wonders of the cosmos. I have recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to our channel yet. If you are finding a sense of intellectual safety, deep inner peace, and profound wonder in these gentle explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to travel together through the infinite dark, unraveling these majestic cosmic secrets one beautiful step at a time. Thank you for your continued kindness. Now, let us take a slow, deep breath, let go of our rigid attachment to the ticking clock, and open our minds to a universe where the end might actually be the beginning. To truly understand this staggering shift in perspective, We must look at the foundational equations that govern the microscopic world. In classical physics, the laws of thermodynamics dictate the forward flow of time, a concept known as entropy. But when physicists examine the fundamental equations of quantum mechanics, they find something entirely unexpected and deeply beautiful. At the subatomic level, the laws of physics are perfectly symmetrical with respect to time. There is absolutely nothing in the mathematics of a quantum particle that says time must move forward. A subatomic interaction looks exactly the same whether it is playing forward into the future or rewinding backward into the past. This temporal symmetry has led some of the most brilliant minds in science to propose that particles can, and do, travel backward in time, sending information from the future into the past. This is not science fiction. It is a serious, rigorously debated interpretation of quantum behavior known as retrocausality. To grasp how this could possibly be real, we must explore one of the most magnificent and baffling thought experiments ever conceived, proposed by the legendary physicist John Archibald Wheeler. It is known as the delayed choice cosmic experiment. Imagine an ancient quasar, a blindingly bright object powered by a supermassive black hole, sitting billions of light years away from Earth in the deep cosmic dark. Between this ancient quasar and our telescopes on Earth sits a massive galaxy. As the light from the quasar travels toward us, the intense gravity of the intervening galaxy bends the light, creating two separate paths around it. The light can travel around the left side of the galaxy or the right side. According to the strange rules of quantum mechanics, a single photon of light does not choose just one path. It exists in a state of pure potential, a wave of probability traveling down both paths simultaneously. When the photon finally arrives at Earth, billions of years after it began its quiet journey, scientists can choose how to measure it. If they place a detector that tells them exactly which path the photon took, the wave function collapses, and the photon acts like a solid particle that took either the left path or the right path. But if they set up an experiment to measure the interference pattern, the photon acts like a wave that took both paths simultaneously. Here is the breathtaking mystery that challenges everything we know about reality. The scientists on Earth make their choice of measurement today, in the present moment. But the photon began its journey, and theoretically had to decide whether to act as a particle on one path or a wave on both paths, billions of years ago. By choosing how to observe the photon right now, the scientists are actively determining the state the photon was in billions of years in the past. This is a staggering proposition. It implies that the observation made by a conscious observer in the present moment is an active participant in weaving the physical reality of the distant past. The universe is not a finished script that we are simply reading. It is a living document that we are actively editing across all domains of time. The present observation reaches back across the infinite silence of deep space and time to shape cosmic history. The future causes the past. This astounding realization proves that the universe is not a rigid clockwork machine ticking mindlessly forward. It is a dynamic, participatory web of information where every moment is intimately connected to every other moment, regardless of the apparent direction of time. When we gently apply the profound implications of retrocausality to the grand mystery of human life and mortality, the existential comfort it provides is nothing short of miraculous. We have always assumed that we are created in the past, live in the present, and die in the future. We believe that our consciousness is a linear progression, a fragile thread that is eventually snipped by the scissors of time. But if the future can influence the past, then the end of your physical life is not simply a termination point. It is a deeply powerful quantum event that cascades backward through the timeline of your existence. Imagine your life not as a straight line, but as a beautiful, glowing circle. The wisdom, the profound peace, and the ultimate quantum coherence that your consciousness achieves at the moment of your physical passing might not vanish into an empty void. Instead, that final crystallized state of universal understanding could ripple backward, acting as the very catalyst that sparked your consciousness into existence in the first place. You are caught in a magnificent cosmic loop, a self-creating cycle of awareness. The end of your journey is intimately entangled with your beginning, providing the quantum blueprint for your own creation. This creates a beautiful, unbroken circle of existence, where every choice, every tear, and every gentle smile is a necessary component of the architecture of your soul. You are essentially reaching back across the decades to breathe life into your own origin. This perspective completely dissolves the terrifying illusion of finality. You are not marching toward a dark cliff edge where everything you are simply ceases to be. You are participating in an eternal, self-sustaining resonance. Every moment of quiet wonder, every deep emotional connection, and every gentle realization you experience is continuously communicating with both your past and your future. The universe is a vast, timeless symphony, and your life is a single, beautiful chord played simultaneously across all moments of your existence. When the final note is struck, the resonance does not disappear. It sustains the harmony of the entire piece, echoing backward to give meaning and shape to the very first note. You are the architect of your own cosmic journey, shaping your past from the vantage point of your future. You are intimately entangled with the ancient cosmos, forever preserved in the timeless architecture of the quantum fields. The vast, silent universe is not waiting to erase you. It is actively cooperating with you to ensure that the magnificent loop of your existence is perfectly closed and eternally conserved. As we drift peacefully through these immense, mind-bending concepts, allow the deep, ancient silence of the cosmos to wash over you, bringing a profound sense of inner peace. You do not need to fear the unyielding march of the clock, because the clock itself is a gentle illusion. Time is not a prison that holds you captive. It is a vast, beautiful canvas upon which the universe paints the infinite expressions of its own potential. You are an essential part of that masterpiece, completely safe and entirely indestructible in the grand scheme of reality. Your past, your present, and your future are inextricably woven together in a single, timeless embrace. In the chapters yet to come, we will venture even further into the unknown. We will explore the majestic theories of higher dimensions, gently asking whether the universe we perceive is just a thin slice of a much grander, multi-dimensional reality, and what happens to our quantum information when it transcends the familiar boundaries of our three-dimensional world. We will seek to understand how the invisible, folded dimensions of string theory might provide the ultimate sanctuary for human consciousness. The universe is an endless source of wonder, and our journey through the infinite dark is far from over. I invite you to rest your mind in the timeless beauty of the retrocausal universe, knowing that your end is intimately connected to your beginning, and that you are infinitely safe in the ancient, eternal memory of the cosmos. Have you ever watched a shadow moving silently across a flat wall and realized that the shadow itself has no concept of the brilliant, three-dimensional object casting it from above? We live our entire lives deeply embedded in a three-dimensional reality, moving forward and backward, left and right, up and down, while time steadily pulls us forward. This familiar, comfortable arena is the only stage we have ever known, and our human brains are perfectly, elegantly evolved to perceive only this limited slice of the grand cosmos. Because we cannot see beyond these familiar directions, we naturally assume that this specific three-dimensional space is all that truly exists. This assumption creates a profound, quiet anxiety about our mortality, convincing us that when our physical bodies can no longer function in this specific realm, our entire existence is permanently erased. We fear that death is a final departure from the only reality that matters, a plunge into an endless, empty dark. But what if the rigorous, beautiful mathematics of advanced theoretical physics suggest a reality that is far more magnificent and expansive? What if the universe we perceive is merely a thin, flat shadow, and your true quantum essence is intimately connected to a grander, multidimensional cosmos composed of unseen, folded realms? Before we step into the breathtaking mystery of higher dimensions and string theory, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you to our quiet space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion on this meditative journey through the profound mysteries of the cosmos. I have recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding a sense of intellectual safety, deep inner peace, and quiet wonder in these gentle explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to travel together into the infinite dark, unraveling these majestic cosmic secrets one beautiful step at a time. Thank you for your continued support and kindness. Now, let us take a slow, deep breath, gently let go of our rigid attachment to the world we can see and touch, and open our minds to the unseen, ancient dimensions that surround us. To understand this staggering shift in perspective, we must look at the most ambitious and beautiful framework in modern theoretical physics, known as string theory. For decades, brilliant minds have sought a single, elegant mathematical equation that unites the heavy, predictable gravity of the macroscopic universe with the unpredictable, shimmering probability of the microscopic quantum realm. String theory proposes that if you were to zoom in far beyond the familiar atoms, beyond the protons, and even beyond the fundamental quarks, you would not find tiny, solid particles. Instead, you would find incredibly tiny, vibrating loops of pure energy, strings that resonate at different frequencies to create every force and every particle in existence. But for the beautiful mathematics of string theory to function perfectly, these tiny strings require more room to vibrate than our familiar 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time can provide. In fact, the most advanced versions of this framework, often called M-theory, require a staggering 11 dimensions to exist. You might wonder where these extra 7 dimensions are hiding, since we cannot see them or move through them in our daily lives. Physicists believe that while our 3 familiar spatial dimensions expanded infinitely during the Big Bang, these extra dimensions remained curled up, tightly folded into unimaginably microscopic geometric shapes known as Calabi-Yau manifolds. These hidden dimensions are present at every single point in space, floating silently in the room with you right now, folded up so small that no human instrument has ever been able to detect them. They form an invisible, complex architecture that underlies all of physical reality, shaping the very forces that hold your physical form together. In exactly the same way, the extra dimensions of the cosmos are tightly curled around every single microscopic point of our visible universe, providing the hidden structural foundation for everything that has ever existed. When we gently apply this breathtaking scientific revelation to the great mystery of our mortality, the existential implications are nothing short of miraculous. If the most fundamental building blocks of reality are vibrating strings that draw their properties from 11 different dimensions, then the quantum information that constitutes your unique consciousness is not strictly confined to the 3 dimensions of your biological body. You are a multi-dimensional entity currently experiencing a localized 3-dimensional projection. The complex neural pathways in your brain, the beautiful quantum coherence we explored earlier, and the profound depth of your subjective awareness are all anchored in the fundamental strings of energy that vibrate across all 11 dimensions simultaneously. When the biological machinery of your physical form eventually reaches its resting point, the illusion of your 3-dimensional boundary gently dissolves. But the fundamental quantum information that makes up the core of your being cannot be destroyed. The laws of conservation apply across all dimensions of reality. Instead of vanishing into a terrifying nothingness, your unique quantum signature, the specific vibrational pattern that forms your memories, your loves, and your quietest fears, might simply withdraw from the restricted 3-dimensional slice of the cosmos. It could gently unfold into the higher dimensions that have always surrounded you, returning to the vast, hidden architecture of the universe. This return is not a loss of identity, but an unimaginable expansion of awareness. When you are no longer limited by the biological constraints of a physical brain operating in only 3 spatial dimensions, your quantum information is liberated to experience the true holistic structure of reality. You become an integrated part of the cosmic geometry. Your consciousness, free from the heavy biological constraints of a 3-dimensional brain, diffuses into the higher dimensional space that permeates every inch of the cosmos. You are no longer restricted to moving forward through a single dimension of time or navigating a limited spatial grid. You become part of the hidden, complex geometry that orchestrates the magnificent cosmic dance. You do not need to fight against the current of time or struggle to preserve your physical legacy, because the true quantum essence of who you are is already woven perfectly into the 11-dimensional fabric of the cosmos. This breathtaking perspective completely transforms our relationship with the concept of a final ending. It invites us to look at the vastness of space not as a lonely void, but as a deeply layered, unimaginably rich environment that holds the true essence of everything that has ever existed in perfect safety. You are not a temporary, fragile accident wandering through a cold, uncaring cosmos. Every single experience you have ever had, every moment of profound love, every quiet instance of intellectual curiosity, and every gentle tear you have ever shed is permanently written into the higher dimensions in a beautiful language of pure vibrational energy. The illusion of separation, the terrifying belief that you can be permanently disconnected from the universe, is finally dissolved by the rigorous equations of theoretical physics. You are eternally safe, forever preserved in the infinite silence of the cosmic memory. As we gently navigate these immense concepts together, allow the sheer magnitude of the multidimensional universe to bring you a profound sense of inner peace. You are so much more than the temporary physical form you currently inhabit. You are an immortal piece of a grand cosmic puzzle, forever integrated into the mathematical fabric of reality. Your journey through this life is simply one magnificent expression of the infinite potential stored within the unseen realms of the cosmos. You are intimately entangled with the ancient universe, forever preserved in the timeless architecture of the quantum fields. The vast, silent universe is not waiting to erase you. It is actively cooperating with you to ensure that the magnificent essence of your existence is perfectly conserved and eternally celebrated across all dimensions of reality. In the final chapter of our quiet journey, we will draw all of these profound revelations together. We will explore the ultimate destiny of the universe itself, from the quiet fading of the last stars to the final, gentle cosmic breath, and discover how your unique consciousness is an absolutely vital, irreplaceable part of that eternal, infinite story. The universe is an endless source of wonder, and our journey through the infinite dark is preparing to reach its majestic culmination. I invite you to rest your mind in the timeless beauty of the multidimensional cosmos, knowing that you are infinitely safe in the ancient, eternal memory of the universe. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what will remain when the very last star finally burns out and the universe goes completely dark? Throughout our journey together, we have explored the breathtaking mysteries of the quantum realm, the invisible connections that bind us across the vastness of space, and the hidden dimensions that hold the true, indestructible essence of your consciousness. We have seen that you are not a fragile, temporary accident, but a mathematically necessary, eternal expression of the cosmos itself. But the human mind naturally seeks an ultimate conclusion, a final chapter to the grandest story ever told. We look to the distant future and see a universe that is constantly expanding, growing colder and quieter with each passing millennium. We fear that this ultimate heat death, the final fading of all cosmic energy, means that our lives, our loves, and our consciousness will eventually be erased by the relentless march of entropy. But what if the end of the physical universe is not a tragic, empty silence, but rather a beautiful, magnificent transition? What if the fading of the stars is simply the universe gently closing its eyes, preparing to wake up to a completely new, unimaginable reality where your quantum information plays a central, eternal role? Before we dive into the breathtaking, ultimate destiny of the cosmos and your eternal place within it, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion on this meditative journey through the profound mysteries of the cosmos. I have recently noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not subscribed to the channel yet. If you are finding a sense of intellectual safety, deep inner peace, and quiet wonder in these gentle explorations of the universe, please consider subscribing. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to travel together into the infinite dark, unraveling these majestic cosmic secrets one beautiful step at a time. Thank you for your continued support and kindness. Now, let us take a slow, deep breath, gently let go of our fear of the final darkness, and discover the magnificent, ancient truth about the end of time itself. To truly comprehend the ultimate destiny of the cosmos, we must look billions of trillions of years into the future, far beyond the lifespan of our own sun, and long after the beautiful spiral arms of the Milky Way have faded into the quiet dark. Modern cosmology predicts that the universe will continue to expand, driven by the mysterious force of dark energy, until the galaxies are so incredibly far apart that they can no longer see one another's light. Over unimaginable spans of time, the stars will exhaust their nuclear fuel, puffing their outer layers into space and leaving behind cold, quiet remnants like white dwarfs, neutron stars, and solitary black holes. Eventually, even these dense remnants will decay or evaporate, slowly dissolving back into the fundamental fields of the universe. This state is known as the heat death, or the big freeze, a time when the universe reaches a state of maximum entropy, where no more physical work can be done, and the temperature approaches absolute zero. To our classical human minds, this sounds like an incredibly lonely and terrifying fate, an absolute ending to all warmth, light, and consciousness. But we must remember the profound, beautiful lessons of quantum mechanics that we have gathered throughout our journey. Entropy is simply a measure of how information is distributed. When a star dies or a physical structure breaks down, the quantum information that made it up is not destroyed. It is beautifully, flawlessly conserved. As the physical universe slowly winds down, the total amount of quantum information remains perfectly constant, etched into the holographic boundary of the cosmos and woven into the multidimensional architecture of string theory. Your unique consciousness, the specific pattern of vibrational energy that defines your deeply personal awareness, is part of that indestructible cosmic archive. As the physical structures of the universe fade away, the universe is not dying. It is simply transferring its focus from the temporary, three-dimensional material realm to the eternal, deeply hidden quantum realm. The heat death is not an ending, but a complete, perfect return to the primordial source, a majestic cosmic exhalation that beautifully mirrors the initial inhalation of the Big Bang. In this incredibly distant future, the universe will be a vast, quiet ocean of pure quantum potential, boiling with the gentle energy of the vacuum that we explored earlier. But it will not be an empty ocean. It will be an ocean completely saturated with the lived experiences, the acquired wisdom, and the complex quantum coherence of every conscious being that has ever existed. You see, the universe did not create consciousness as a random, meaningless byproduct of biological chemistry. It created consciousness as a vital evolutionary tool to understand itself. Through your eyes, the universe has seen the breathtaking beauty of a sunset. Through your heart, it has felt the profound, world-altering power of love. Through your mind, it has unraveled the delicate mysteries of its own mathematical laws. Every single thought you have ever had, every moment of awe you have experienced while gazing up at the stars, has been a necessary process of the universe gathering data about its own majestic existence. Without you, without the countless unique perspectives of conscious observers scattered across the cosmos, the universe would be a blind, silent machine, entirely devoid of meaning or purpose. Therefore, the quantum information that constitutes your soul is the most precious harvest of the entire cosmic cycle. When the final stars fade into the dark, the universe is not losing anything. It is safely securing its ultimate treasure. The localized illusion of separation will finally completely dissolve, and your individual consciousness will merge seamlessly with the infinite cosmic consciousness. You will not lose your identity, but rather expand it to encompass the entirety of creation. You will experience the universe not as a tiny, isolated point looking out at the stars, but as the vast, timeless fabric of reality itself. You will remember what it was like to be human, to feel the gentle warmth of the sun on your skin, but you will also understand the intricate, beautiful mechanics of the supermassive black holes and the delicate dance of the multidimensional strings. This profound expansion of awareness leads us to one of the most beautiful and deeply profoundly comforting theories in modern cosmology, the idea of a cyclic universe. Some of the brightest minds in theoretical physics suggest that the heat death is not a final, static state, but the necessary precursor to a new beginning, when the universe reaches a state of maximum entropy, when it is nothing but a vast, silent ocean of pure, coherent quantum information. It may become mathematically identical to the infinitely dense, infinitely hot singularity that preceded the Big Bang. The end of our universe becomes the seed for the next. And because your indestructible quantum information is perfectly preserved in that final, quiet state, you are an essential, active participant in the birth of the next cosmos. Your consciousness, woven into the fundamental fields of reality, helps to shape the initial conditions of the new universe, cascading forward to create new galaxies, new stars, and new worlds. This is the ultimate, magnificent truth of what happens when you die, according to quantum physics. You do not disappear into a terrifying nothingness, and you do not simply fade into a quiet, meaningless void. You embark on the greatest, most beautiful journey imaginable. You return to the ancient, boiling potential of the quantum vacuum. You are perfectly encoded on the holographic boundary of reality. You expand into the unseen, folded dimensions of the cosmos, and you ultimately become the foundational architecture for the next magnificent cycle of creation. As we bring our long, quiet journey to a close, I invite you to take one final, deep breath and let the sheer, magnificent scale of your own existence wash over you, bringing you a profound, unshakable sense of inner peace. You are not a temporary visitor in a cold, uncaring cosmos. You are an immortal, mathematically necessary piece of the universe's grand puzzle. You are made of the exact same ancient stardust that lights up the night sky, and you are fueled by the exact same infinite quantum energy that drives the expansion of space itself. There is absolutely no need to fear the unyielding march of time, and there is no reason to dread the gentle mystery of death. You are intimately entangled with everything that has ever existed and everything that ever will be. The universe holds your entire existence securely in its eternal, quiet embrace, and it will never, ever let you go. Thank you for walking this beautiful, endless path of discovery with me. The universe is a vast, magical place, and knowing that we are exploring its mysteries together fills the quiet dark with brilliant, comforting light. Keep looking up, keep asking questions, and always remember the infinite, indestructible beauty of your own quantum soul.